it's Bonnie. Happy Thursday. Happy Earth Day. Oh my goodness. I was really hoping that we were going to get a little bit warmer temperatures today, but at least we have sunshine. So I'm grateful for that. So I wanted to do a Bath & Body Works Earth Day edition video because what I did was I created a couple of little recycling crafty ideas that you can do with your empty Bath & Body Works containers. Bath & Body Works actually had this on their app, and I'm like, I'm going to try it. And it was easy, and I think it looks awesome. I also incorporated my beach glass in with the recycling. For those of you who are just joining me who don't know, I do live kind of on the shores of Lake Erie, and one of my huge hobbies is collecting beach glass. So I was going to talk a little bit about beach glass today because it's Earth Day. And another thing I want to talk about is uranium glass. If you've never heard of uranium glass, this stuff is so fascinating. It actually glows under a black light. I'm going to talk about this though because it's really fascinating. So what I did today was I took my Margarita Time soap bottle from Bath & Body Works, used this up a couple days ago, and I'm like, I really like this pattern. I actually set this bottle aside from my empties because I'm like, it's so pretty. I love the limes on there. So what I did was I put some beach glass in here to kind of weight it down, and then I took 2 bouquets of Dollar Tree flowers and I put them in there. This looks so cute on my kitchen table. It's adorable, and this looks like kind of like a pretty little Art Deco bottle, but I'm like, this really works well. It's inexpensive, and you're recycling. It's a really good thing for both your home decor and the environment. So I thought that was really fun. And then what I did was I took a bunch of the Bath & Body Works candles that were getting low. So usually when a candle has, about like an inch left, ½ inch of wax, and I can't burn it anymore, what I do is I pop it into the freezer, and I'm usually able to just pop out that wax pretty easily with like a butter knife. Sometimes the wicks get stuck, but you can either put it back in the freezer for a little while. Sometimes that undoes them. Or if you're running under hot water, you can usually get the wicks out because what they are is like a little metal piece. So what I did was I had my blueberry lavender spritzer, and check it out. I've got cotton balls in here. I use a ton of cotton balls. I always use toner on my face. And I'm like, you know what? I need a really cute jar to store my cotton balls in. So I decided to use this one because I like it. I have a beige bathroom in our master bedroom, and it's kind of bland, so I wanted something that looked like really pretty for spring and summer, so I thought that looked nice with the blue. And my husband uses that bathroom, so I'm like, it's kind of nice because it's not like overly girly. So I thought that was a good choice. So I have my cotton balls in this one, and then I recently used up the Sun-Kissed coconut. This was actually a really nice candle, you guys. I've got the lights a little bit lower now because I want to show you the uranium glass. I don't have my third light turned on, so it's a little bit dark in here. But what I did for my daughter was I've got these really neat markers I bought her. These are the ALP sketch markers, and they're dual-ended. So what I did was I arranged them in a rainbow pattern on top here, so you can kind of choose, red, orange, green, and then I put them in here, and they fit perfectly, so she can just set this on her desk while she's doing her schoolwork and grab a marker. I'm like, that worked out way better than I thought it would even. I was like, wow. And then the final jar that I did for the candles, so there's a couple things you can do with the candles. You can either keep the jar as is, which in the case of like, if you burn down Hibiscus Paradise, this is a beautiful jar. I would not take the wrapper off of here because it's just way too pretty. However, some of the jars, you might not like the wrapper, especially the plasticky wrappers that wrap around the whole candle. Those just peel off. This is actually a half wrapper. So this was my warm apple pie from last year. I like the sticker on here, but I also wanted to show off some beach glass. So what I did was I put my white beach glass in here, and then I put like a little plastic turtle. I put this on Instagram, and then I can kind of display this a little bit halfway. I can do this side, or I can do this side, and it looks really cute in my living room just with my beach glass. I thought that was like a neat way to display everything for summer, so I thought that was fun. So once your candles burn down, definitely think of ways that you can reuse them. The single wicks have the lids, which is nice. You can put, bobby pins in there. You can put thumbtacks in there. Any like little office supply thing. There's a million things that you can do to recycle your Bath & Body Works candle jars and the soap jars. So I thought that was kind of cool. So like I said, I did put my beach glass in here, and I thought I would just talk a little bit about beach glass, because a lot of people have asked, and it's actually really interesting. So I've been beach glassing since I was a kid, because when you live around Lake Erie, that's the thing you do. Like, your parents bring you to the beach when you're a kid, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's all these beautiful little gemstones hanging out on the shore, and you're like, you want to collect them. And then it continues as an adult. There's actually a lot of groups on Facebook. People are serious about beach glassing. So the most popular glass is usually the white glass, and what happens is over the years, sunken ships, factories have dumped glass into Lake Erie. You can get ocean glass too. And then what happens is it tumbles around in the lake for years, like 50 years, 30 years, 20 years. And it's basically a giant rock tumbler. And the most perfect pieces of beach glass are the ones that have all smooth edges, and they also have a really nice kind of frosted look to them. So this is what we would consider a perfect piece of beach glass. There's other pieces that are a little bit rough. So for instance, this big one, you can see on the side there, it's kind of chipped. This would not be necessarily a perfect piece, but because it's large, it's an appealing piece. People really like the larger pieces. So other popular colors of beach glass are brown. So brown is from beer bottles. For years and years and years, people throw in beer bottles, trash in the lake. It's kind of neat that it turns into something beautiful at some point. But this is actually like the rim of a bottle. So a lot of times, brown glass is really hard to find though, because it mixes in with the sand. The white glass, if you've got the sun hitting the right way, it's pretty easy to find. I actually really love the green glass. I think green is actually my favorite. I have a lot of green beach glass. Green one is actually pretty perfect. It's got nice rounded edges, and it's frosted. Two of the really rare beach glass shades are blue and red. Red is rarer than blue, but blue is pretty hard to find. I do have quite a bit of blue though. This is called Cobalt, and a lot of times factories that were making like Cobalt glass would dump it in Lake Erie in like the turn of the century. And then remember the old glass bottles? They had like medicine bottles a lot of times were blue around the turn of the century, and that's where the blue glass comes from, which is really fascinating. The other day, I found a piece of yellow glass. You always sometimes find a little different one. I found lavender, yellow, pink, all different kinds of beach glass. So the most interesting glass out there is called uranium glass, and it's got kind of a ghostly green kind of shade when you find it on the beach. But when you put it under a black light, I'm going to show you a little video right now. This is what happens. So when I turn on my black light, you can see this literally lights up as a fluorescent green stone. So around World War II, they basically stopped production. You couldn't find uranium to make uranium glass. And then when the war was over, a couple people went back into production making the uranium glass. But now, I was actually on Beachcombing. It was actually an interesting article. It says that no more place settings of uranium glass are produced now. So it's definitely a thing of the past. I'm sure, maybe grandma's great grandmothers, ask them. Maybe they did have some uranium glass. Ask them about Vaseline glass, about the history. My mother knew all about it. My aunt knew all about. Everyone had Vaseline glass in their house. It was a really popular thing to have, and part of it probably ended up in the lake. And it turned into beach glass at that point. So kind of an interesting history. And usually what I do is anytime I collect beach glass, I always shine my black light on it once I get it home, just in a bucket, to pick out the uranium glass, and then I keep that like in a separate place. But it's a really neat hobby. I love beach glassing. It is really relaxing, let me tell you. I mean, walking along the beach in the summer and just looking for these pretty little gemstones takes your mind off of everything. So it's definitely a fun hobby. If you're near a lake, an ocean, I highly recommend it. So that's my little Earth Day video for today. I thought it was fun to recycle and talk about beach glass a little bit. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.